Hello, patrons and people who could wait a year. I don't know how you do it. And I mean that to both of you because I don't know how you have money for Patreon right now. Things are bad, things are bleak. Anyway, it's the Take a Month Off episode. So sorry there's been no content for a month because when you can see this, I will have already taken the month off, but I haven't yet. I'm about to take it right now. Let me just look extra relaxed. Let me see here. I'm very excited for a month off. I'd considered dressing like I'm going on a Hawaiian vacation or something, but I don't have the budget to go on a Hawaiian vacation. I'm just gonna not do this show for a bit. So let me think of an opening line and then I'll get things on the road here. Oh, you know what? Actually, no, I'm not gonna get them on the road yet. I just wanna make sure everybody understands what's about to happen. Because if you're watching this, you might be a little confused, like why have there been no shows for a month? And yeah, so the premise today, which I'm gonna explain in the body of the show, is I'm gonna start the show once I see what the topic is. 1 month. Wait 1 month. Whatever that topic is, I'll let it gestate in my noggin. I will read the Wikipedia page and be like, wow, this is really fascinating. I will do extra research depending on what it is. So I hope it's like a really cool topic that when I come back, I'll just be like, yo, I learned so much about this. Not that I'm obligated to. I can also just, not think about it. I technically swore not to do anything for the podcast, so maybe I can't look it up. I'm glad I waited all this time, because yeah, I don't even know what the premise is. Never mind, let's get that opening line out of the way. Wow. I think I needed this. And then this is where the theme song goes. I'm just quiet for this part so I can find the waveform. I hope you're ready for a great episode. I'm ready for a great 5 minutes and then I go do whatever I want. You're listening to Fix My Car Cast, hosted by Bear Claw Billy, and this is episode 161. Comedian and musician Keith Hebert will join us after he picks up the Wagon Queen family truckster. But first, housekeeping. This is the show where you pick what I say and how I say it. Pick a topic or prompt by donating to the GoFundMe and vote on the gimmick by joining my Patreon for just $1 a month. Join at the $5 or higher level and also get bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes footage. Links are in the description. I fucked up my mic. Fuck me. Whatever. Links are in the description. Get down there and look at those awesome fucking links. Sorry, my mic fell off. Also down there, merch. Get yourself some merch. If you're going on holiday and you want people to know what you're into, it's Fix My Car Cast. That podcast that's probably about fixing cars. It's not about fixing cars. No new donors this week. The total raise for paying off my car repair debt is still holding at $2,442, which is still a palindrome. Also, when we get to $3,000, it unlocks an automatic show gimmick, which is I will record an episode at sea as soon as I'm medically declared as seaworthy. Fun fact, did you know that this whole podcast disappears when we hit $10,000? Tell it to hit the holiday road. It's very hard to say that word with just one syllable. Hey, do you like the theme song? No? Well, if you make a donation of $50 or more, in addition to picking an episode topic, you get to change one thing about the theme song forever. Unless somebody else changes it back. Want me to do my best Lindsey Buckingham impression? I'll do it. $50. I don't know what that sounds like, but also, if you would like to own the painting I made in episode 118, I'll be giving it away to the next person who donates $100 or more. That's right. Own a piece of Fix My Car Cast history while you still can. If you'd like to see the painting before you buy it, it can be viewed in the raw video version of episode 118 over on Patreon. Link in the description. And yes, the painting, it's around here somewhere. It's definitely in the house. I'm not. Yes, it is in the room. The painting is in the room with me. No new patrons this week. Bummer. Now it's time for a topic suggestion. I'll suggest topics I think I could easily talk about for a whole episode, though admittedly, I think the show is more fun when it's something I'm completely clueless about. So, something I could talk about is what I did all February. The fun part is that I don't know right now, but I will. Want to know more? Donate today. Checking in on the best city in the world based on which city listened to the last episode the most, and we've got us another singles night tie. Ties are broken by whichever city listened to the most episodes, and our big winner is New York, New York. Congratulations, New York, New York. Let it be known that your Coronado Hotel, Saddleback Inn, and Six Flags Magic Mountain are the best in the world for 7 days. Last episode, I talked about Daniel Sperling while drinking a shot of Sriracha. You can see video of all the raw footage, plus a little extra, over on Patreon. Also, head over to Patreon for a bonus episode where I talk about 2 Jim Carrey movies and give you a sneak peek of 2 new songs. Well, they were new a month ago. But, still go listen to it. Okay, let's talk next week's gimmick poll. These are your choices for next week's episode gimmick. They are: do it like a late night monologue, end the episode if I say a color, drink a shot of mayonnaise, and our returning gimmick, play solitaire. Somehow that got a vote and got a chance to come back. Who voted for play solitaire? Anyway, let's review. Number 1, do it like a late night monologue. I will do my best to improvise something that sounds like a late night ripped from the headlines monologue. I don't know what style of late night show I'll be emulating exactly, because it's fucking improv. But we'll find out when I get there if that one wins. Number 2, end the episode if I say a color. Pretty simple, same as the movie one. If by accident I say a color, I have to end the episode immediately. And otherwise it'll just be a regular episode. Number 3, drink a shot of mayonnaise. You thought Sriracha was real thick when it hit the back of my throat? Well, wait till you see what a creamy white shot of mayo does to me. And our returning gimmick number 4, play solitaire. I guess there's worse gimmicks. I've done some of them, but I'm just surprised if people were like, yeah, that'd be exciting. I put boring ones in like on purpose and just as sort of like no one will pick this one. I love when you guys pick the boring ones, though. It's funny. Remember that any gimmick that gets just a single vote is eligible for a second chance in 6 weeks. Be sure to vote over on Patreon. The poll closes Thursday, February 27th at noon Eastern America time. I know that's normal to you for when you're seeing this, but that's a month away. All right, time for today's gimmick, which is take a month off. That's right. At the time of recording, it is February 1st, 2025. I'm about to find out what this very episode's topic is, and then after I do, for 1 month, I will not do anything related to Fix My Car Cast. For the first week since August 1st, 2022, there will be no new episode of Fix My Car Cast. I'm going to take the month off, then come back March 1st, 2025, and finish recording this very episode. Of course, gimmicks don't start until housekeeping is out of the way in case any of them prevent me from sharing vital information. But now, we are entering the Gimmick Zone. From this point on, gimmicks are active and everything is improvised. There's no sponsored topic for today's episode, so I'll take inspiration from a randomized Wikipedia page, which is... I saw they have an ad running, so they might be hard to read. This one looks... Nope, too stubby. Moving on. It's another random place. Whoa. Oh, this had a cool looking name. This is a disambiguation page, so no, not gonna count it. Moving on. You know what? This one's got enough information. I don't do athletes. This is sports related. It is a lot of stats, but I see enough words that I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go with this one. The topic for this episode is Stadion Bolgarska Armia. And I'm not gonna look at anything else about it. That's the topic. I'm now gonna go take 1 month off. There's gonna be an edit. I'll try to make it as obvious as to where the edit is. Hasn't happened yet. It is currently February 1st. I will come back March 1st. I see you shiver with anticipation. Moonstruck. Moonstruck.
That's definitely in the movie.
That's definitely in the movie.
Demeter. Demeter, you can have the big piece. Just for you.
sucking off unicorns.
And they had to delete their findings after Trump ordered them to stop.
Yep, 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 yep. Everyone does it better. What? Oh. Oh, that's a problem. Oh, whatever. We know what it is. Mic'd up. Okay. Nipples. Welcome back. It has been an interesting month for me in the world. Been making some music. Heard from an ex. Not all of them, though. Let's talk about Stadion Belgarska Armia, a Bulgarian army stadium. So that's our topic for today, and that's what I'll be talking about. The Stadion Belgarska Armia is in the Borisova Gradina in the center of Sofia. Don't know where that is. Bulgaria. Well, yeah, because it's Bulgarian. I don't know. I don't know the different layers of, there's a town, and the town is in a city, and the city's in a state, or whatever. I was never very good at geography. Until 2024, the stadium had 4 sectors, and a total of 22,995 seats, of which 2,100 are covered. The rest don't have insurance. That was a bad insurance joke. Though frankly, insurance is a joke. Been making a lot of music. You should go check it out. How are you? Probably excited to watch a game. The capacity of the old stadium was divided in 4 sectors. Now, I'm wondering if this... Well, I'll be. In late 2023, the stadium was closed in preparation for its reconstruction, which will involve a complete overhaul and demolition of the current stands. So the reconstruction has begun, but it's not done yet. I find that very relatable with the month I've had. The reconstruction is underway, but we're not there yet. Built in 1923 for AS23. I don't know what that is, but it's great to learn. Home colors and away colors. Sorry, I forgot I need to be filling the dead air. I haven't been doing any podcasts for a month. I've definitely been recording some things, though. And I've definitely been talking to friends about deep thoughts. None of which were about a Bulgarian football stadium. And for my American listeners, that's a soccer stadium. I don't know why we're different. I don't know why we're different. Apologies, the rest of the world. I don't know why we're different. I don't know why we're like this. Are you ready for some football? I am. From 1944 until 1948, the stadium was called Chavdar Stadium. Between 1948 and 1990, it was the People's Army Stadium. This must be the stadium where they have their wars. The current structure was built by architect Anton Karavelov in the period between 1965 and 1967 on the old grounds of AS-23. It was reconstructed again in 1982, which included the introduction of floodlights. This is basically the Stadion Bulgarska Armia of Theseus. But aren't they all? I mean, I'm just going to go with this thought. The other day, I was spending time with a friend I haven't seen in a long time, like pre-lockdown. I don't want to say the P word because we know who will show up. Unless we don't know. Do we know? I don't know. Show's got way too much lore. Anyway, I pointed to my Michael Myers mask. And I said, that mask, believe it or not, is actually how I realized I was trans. And then I stopped, and I was like, oh, wait. It wasn't technically that mask. I've actually replaced that mask twice since it has become damaged or torn. Once it was damaged when someone tried to pull it off of me. I like to go out dressed as Michael Myers every Halloween. And I don't drop character, and sometimes that bothers people. And one time somebody was like, hey, take off the mask. Who are you? Hey, not in a friendly way. Many people say, hey, why don't you take that mask off? But this was someone who was aggressive about it and tried to pull it off by the hair. If you don't know, the Michael Myers mask is one of the few with hair. Freddy Krueger's got a hat. Jason he's bald, but he might have some wisps. But usually you're just getting the hockey mask, and Ghostface has a hood. So, sorry, will you permit me to talk about things I care about? Thanks. And so yeah, I said that's the mask that made me realize I was trans. And then I stopped to correct it on both fronts because there were many indicators on the way there. Sorry, a month in America has really made me want to talk about being trans for some reason. I don't know why. Are you ready for some football? In 2023, CSKA and the Ministry of Youth and Sports established a joint venture which should undertake reconstruction of the stadium. The reconstructed stadium will have 17,376 seats and meet UEFA Category 4 criteria. Well, thank goodness. Those 17,376 people will be ready for some football. So yeah, wearing a Michael Myers mask helped me figure out that I'm trans. And by the way, I don't want to give any ammunition to any transphobic people who are like pretending to be a serial killer made you realize something about your gender. But it did. It genuinely did. I'm just going to talk about it because it feels really important to talk about the things that are important to me. There are several paid parking lots in the area around the Bulgarian Army Stadium, which are of the closed type. The paid car zone in the center area works every day, and this is important, except Sundays. So there I was at a Halloween party. Ironically, it was actually in November because the schedules of the people who were invited shook out in such a way that we actually had to have it after Halloween. I think November 1st was a Saturday. I don't want to get on too much of a tangent, but I've always thought that November 1st should be a Halloween 2 holiday. Because it's very funny to me that the film Halloween 2 technically doesn't take place on Halloween because it's after midnight. The events of that film are November 1st entirely. So that's my little being a pedantic little stickler. I've probably talked about this on a bonus episode or something. The bonus episodes are where I talk about what I want. So you're going to want to check that out. I have a lot to say about the music I've been making. And I have an update about an old friend. But I'm not going to talk about that here because I need to stay focused on the topic, which is what I always do on this show. So there I was dressed as Michael Myers, and whenever I go to a party, I'm usually the life of the party. I told this story to my friend. She had not seen me for several years. We had lost touch in lockdown. And then she heard one of my songs and reached out, and we're reconnecting right now. And it's just been absolutely wonderful because it's like both reconnecting with an old friend and having a first date. When you are trans and you transition, and then somebody who knew you back then gets to see you a totally new way. And it was really lovely. And so I told her, I went to this party, this November 1st Halloween 2 party, dressed as Michael Myers. And I believe this was the first year that I ever did this. Believe it or not, I just have a friend who looks like Donald Pleasance, who plays Dr. Loomis in Halloween. And he was like, oh man, if I go as Loomis, who's going to be my Michael Myers? And I was like, yeah, sure. I'd seen the movie. I was, at the time, I was like, that's a good movie. I've seen it a couple times. Yeah, that sounds fun. Nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask. But anyway. Oh, there are several service line routes to and from Stadion Balgarska Armia. That's really good. I know you're ready for some football, but I want to talk about this. So I go to this party, and when I go to a party, hey, I'm a person whose name gets shouted when they walk in a room. That ain't bragging, that's just a fact. I am frequently life of the party. And so instead, I show up as a silent killer. Fully in character, I just walk in. I think the theme song was playing on a little speaker. And I just walk in. And to not get the, hey, was, pardon the expression, transformative. Because again, it may not outwardly seem obvious that this would finally crack my trans egg. How much time do we have? Do you know what a trans egg is? If we need more time, I got all the time I want. I got a time machine. Sorry. I'm quoting Back to the Future, but also I have information about a time machine. Listen to the bonus episode. Things are wild. Things are wild. I don't have time to get into all of that now. I have to tell you about this party that I went to. And so I was just silently creepy in the corner. And it was like I was a piece of furniture. Like, people didn't treat me like me. And that's when it hit me. The way you look matters. Up until that point, I had known that I had very femme interests and not a lot of masculine interests. And but like I just was like, well, that's fine. I'm just a man who doesn't do a lot of stereotypical man things. That's fine. But I'm still me. And I like pretty things, but I don't wear pretty things. But I was starting to. And I don't quite have all the details on the timeline here, but yeah, it was that night. It was that night that I was like, oh, the way I look affects the way people perceive me. And I want to start looking in a way that represents how I feel. And that was that. I think the next day I started drafting up the text that was like, this is my name now. These are my pronouns now. And I don't know. Spending February 2025 not podcasting, with no one to talk to, not being able to drive, treasuring the friends who come over and spend some time with me and want to talk about things. Yeah, it's just been a lot to reflect on. Oh, that's the end of the article. There's a statistics grid for when the stadium opens. But because it hasn't opened yet, it's all just 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 across the board. Top scorer, TBA. Shout out to TBA for being such an excellent football player. Anyway, that's all you need to know about Stadion Balgarska Armia. Catch you next week. And as always, be ready for some football. Whew! I sure hope that episode was long enough. I really lost my sense of time in terms of where I was at. I also know that the video version is probably going to be a lot longer. I have Dracula updates. Head to the bonus episodes on Patreon for Dracula updates. Bonus? His name's not Dracula anymore.